Ask me again, Mrs. Calvi. This is another tutorial on area of irregular figures. This is going to be 9-3 from your textbook. I did want to show you the example where you're going to be using a triangle because I don't know if you've actually done area of a triangle any recently at all. You may have done it in elementary school, but I just want to make sure I went over that. This is exactly example 3 from your textbook on page 369, and I kind of duplicated the figure. It's this one right here. So this is the irregular or the composite figure that they're giving us, and we need to find the area of it. So you can kind of tell that you can make this into a rectangle and a triangle. So if we were to draw our line, you can see how this becomes, this would be the rectangle, and then this would be the triangle. Now, all we're going to have to do is find the area of each of those and then add the two areas together to get the area of the entire figure. So I tried to save some time here. I wrote out our formulas. The formula for area of a rectangle is length times width. Now, formula for a triangle, I'm telling you right now, the most common formula you will see in any math class that you have is A is equal to half the base times the height. All right. The easiest thing to do, this means the same thing, the one in red. Area is equal to base times height divided by 2. These two mean the same thing. The red one here is the easier one to use and understand. Many students get confused with because there's a fraction here, 1/2 of the base times the height. All that is really saying is you're taking your base times your height and you're cutting it in half. So I tend to use this formula with my students just because it's so much easier, all right? But in your book, you will see area is equal to half the base times the height, all right? So I'm going to use the easy formula. I am actually going to erase just so I have space here. I'm going to erase this formula and move my other formula up just so I have room to do some of the work, okay? So area equals base times height divided by 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase this one so I have space to actually solve. Okay? All right. So now let's get to filling in our formulas. So the area of a rectangle, it looks like we have a 12-foot by 4-foot rectangle. So my area is going to be 12 times 4. And 12 times 4, we should know, is equal to 48. All right. So the area for the rectangle, and this is going to be, area is always squared, square feet. All right. So now let's move over to our triangle. I'm just going to divide this a little bit. So now the area of our triangle, A is equal to, so we're going to look at the base of our triangle, the bottom. So if you notice, this is 5 feet. So our base is 5 feet. We need to multiply that by the height of our triangle. So now this is the tricky part. This 3 feet here is only this small little piece, but this triangle goes from the bottom all the way to the top. So this is 3 feet. Well, we know if this side of the rectangle is 4 feet, that means the side here, this dotted red line, has to be 4 feet. So again, I would go ahead and plug that information in so you have it. All right. So now the height of my triangle is what? It is the 3 feet for this small piece plus the 4 feet for that red dotted line, giving me a total of 7 feet for my height. And then I would take that and then divide by 2. So 5 times 7 is 35, and I'm going to go ahead and divide that by 2. When I do this calculation and I do 35 divided by 2, what am I going to get? If you do it in your calculator, you would get 17.5 or 17.5. So area equals 17.5 square feet. Okay, so we found the area of the rectangle, we found the area of the triangle. Now the last step to do is to just add those two together. So let's do that on the side where it's a little bit neater. So I'm going to, for my area, take my 48, add my 17.5, and when I add those together, I would get 65.5 square feet. So that would be my final answer. That would be the area of this composite or irregular figure. So like I said earlier, it's pretty simple. You're going to sometimes have to divide your irregular shape maybe into 3 different shapes. It might not only be 2. Okay, so for your classwork, you might have to divide it into 3 shapes. Now remember, triangle, most popular formula is area equals half the base times the height. The easiest one to do is just do your base times height divided by 2. Students find this to be a little bit easier. All right, guys, I hope this helped. I'll talk to you soon.